We bring nothing into this world, and it is certain we carry nothing out. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. But surely we can all agree that Lord Asquith Dysquith has been taken away from us all too soon. I can recall so many kindnesses in the regrettably short time I knew him.
Why are all the Dysquiths dying? What grisly sort of plague is going round? It seems with every day a Dysquith slips away, and here we are assembled, putting another one in the ground. It's frankly all been rather mystifying.
Do forgive me if I scoff, but is it not a trifle odd how they've all gone off to God?
Suddenly they're congregating underneath the sod. Oh, why are all the Dysquiths dying?
What a tasteless way of showing off.
Why are all the Dysquiths dying? It seems that all of London's shaken to the core.
To lose one relative, one can certainly forgive.
But how can you excuse losing 2
Or 3
or 4
or 7? Why are all the Dysquiths dying?
I've never seen such recklessness before.
It's unnerving.
It's not that they're not undeserving.
I never liked them much, I must confess.
In fairness, you must admit at least it's a shame about the priest.
I can't imagine missing someone less. But really, why are all the Dysquiths dying?
When truth to tell, so many others should.
Though privately it was said they should all drop dead, no one thought they ever really would.
I happened to notice there wasn't a lot of crying.
I even heard a snigger from the back.
Oh, it really is a shame how they start to feel the same.
How many are there left to bury after what's his name?
I ask you, why?
Why are all the Dysquiths dying? Whoever's next, I swear I won't come back. I'm utterly exhausted keeping track. And most of all, I'm sick of wearing black.
Why are all the Dysquiths dying? What could explain this tragic family curse? A night or 2 ago, we were at the Fiddly-O. He stood and booed the mezzo, and today he's in a hearse. If I should say what's a concern, I would be lying. One doesn't like to think of one's demise. With such events, you see how fragile life can be. I'd rather makes me wonder if the next one will be me.
So tell me, why are all the Dysquiths dying?
Family tree's been whittled down to size.
It's just a twig now.
There's almost no one left to eulogize.
Except for you, dear.
Let us pray no other Dysquiths die.
Why do you always stare at me so?
Do you mind terribly?
I don't know.
I never tire of looking at you. I see a nose that belongs on a coin, and there's that smile with a secret inside, and here are 2 eyes that are bright With a mischievous light you try but can't quite hide.
Monty.
Oh, there's that voice with the promise of sin, and oh, those lips are a promise of bliss, and I know that your embrace is a treacherous place. There's danger in your kiss. This is the face of a woman a man could easily worship for all of his days. But a man could as easily lose his sanity, deciphering your gaze. Oh, you are vain and you're heartless, and yet I can feel in you a shade of sadness that's barely detectable. That I still want you at all. I may live to regret you're deceitful, you're delectable. You see the fate of a man who has had the misfortune to spend his life caught in your sway. I say, Isabella, Isabella, and I like her that way. Yes, I like her just that way. And I want you that way.
Lionel will expect me to be home when he arrives.
I wonder, what would you do, Sibella, if I were to marry?
Forbid it.
You think that would be effective?
If it were not, I should never speak to you again.
Do you mean that?
I suppose it would depend on whom you married, and whether you married for love or...
Or self-interest, you mean?
I suppose there is something in marrying for love. I thought I was in love with Lionel, at least a little.
To do you justice, Sibella, I believe you did. Perhaps if we'd married, we'd have become bored with each other, eventually.
Do you really think so?
There's all the difference in the world in being able to see a woman when you want to, and being obliged to see her when you don't.
I'm not at all sure I appreciate your attitude. Monty, I've been wondering something. Now that you're so cozy with the dice quiz, I wonder if you couldn't get Lionel an invitation to Highhurst.
Lionel or you?
Oh, it's all for Lionel. It would seem he has political aspirations. Perhaps I'm being a bit presumptuous asking for a favor for my husband.
Not at all. It's only that I could scarcely put in a good word for Lionel when I haven't had an introduction to the Earl myself. I would help you if I could.
I know you would. Of course, Lionel is not without resources of his own. We'll see which of us is invited to Highhurst before the other, won't we? Who could that be?
I haven't the foggiest. Quick, go into the bedroom, shut the door, be very still. Miss Dicesquith.
Mr. Navarro, forgive my intrusion.
This is unexpected.
I needed to see you, and see you today.
Yes, of course.
Mr. Navarro, I have arrived at a stunning conclusion, and I fear I would lose my resolve if I didn't come here directly to say I've decided to marry you. I've decided to marry you. I've decided though Henry's gone that life goes on for me. I have thoroughly thought it through, and the man that I want is you. Though it's true there are quite a few who'd strongly disagree. Nonetheless, I will marry you. I confess that I'm frightened too, but unless I am wrong, you long for love as much as I. unconventional, I admit, but why should they matter a whit? And if you do not say yes at once, I think I'll die.
Miss Dysquith, you've rendered me speechless. May I call you Phoebe?
What am I doing here? This could be dangerous if I'm discovered. Imagine the scandal, and I couldn't handle a scandal so risible. I'll stay invisible, still as can be. But what's going on in there? I can hear voices, I recognize Monty, but is that a woman? And if it's a woman, then what is she doing here? Is it the cousin I wish I could see? If it's that cousin, it might just be business. It's family business and none of my business. But why is she here in the helm of a bachelor? Of course, one could point out that I'm here as well, but does she not realize this situation puts her reputation severely in question? The mere suggestion could cause a sensation, and I cannot hear, which is hell.
I won't want to marry
I
you.
could go home.
I'll be scorned if I marry
I
you.
should go.
Still, I've decided to live my life and be a wife again. Who'd believe how my life has turned?
I should be off.
After grieving, I quickly
But he makes me
learned
laugh.
There's nothing can bend the will like half Castilian men. And there's goodness to spare in you.
Isn't this fun?
And a gentleness there in you.
Isn't she
You
done?
have taken a wounded bird and taught her how to fly.
Family business, my eye. This is quite unconventional,
is it not? Rather a turn in the plot, and so will I be your fiancé.
Why don't you send the cow away?
Phoebe,
When I
darling.
recall this day, I think I'll cry. What was that?
What was what?
That sound. Is there someone here?
Oh, pay no attention. That's my new manservant. He's just finding his way around. I'll be with you in a moment, Wadsworth. Isn't this madness? Who could foresee how one trick of timing could ruin it all? One in the parlor, one in the bedroom, nothing between the bed and the wall. Look at Phoebe, noble and pious, my esteem for her only grows. But when I am with Phoebe, I am on fire, thinking of Sabella, full of desire, passion, and dare I say it, love. But when I'm with Sabella, whom do I admire? None but Phoebe, perfect and lovely. Who couldn't love her? Heaven knows. Round and round and round it goes. How happy I'd be to be at your disposal, my darling. Of course I accept your proposal.
Now we should kiss.
That would be bliss.
Darling, but first I'll say this. I've decided to marry you.
What should they do?
I've decided to marry you.
What should they do?
The trumpet across this wall would fall and set me free.
Then again, that's a bad one.
I've decided
to marry you. I will marry you. Look what you've done to me. I'm grateful indeed for your greatness bestowment. Yes, Wadsworth, I told you I'll be just a moment.
Now, Monty dear, I think I now should go. But I still want to marry you.
Even so.
I've decided to marry you.
Just go.
Now I'm longing to marry you.
Yes, I'm delighted to marry you, marry you, marry you. Shame you must go. Go.
Go.
Hello?
Is it safe to come out now?
I think so, yes.
I'm sure I can't imagine what she was so excited about. Who? Miss Dysquith, your cousin, our visitor?
Oh, yes, some business about selling her brother's horse. And now, where were we? Oh, yes. I see Isabella, my Isabella, and I like you that way.
Lady Hyacinth found alive!
Society lady escapes from cannibals!
Lady Philanthropist arrives home today!
Lady Hyacinth to be greeted by thousands!
Lady Hyacinth falls in gangplank collapse!
Lady Hyacinth drowns in harbour!
Of all all the slights and rejection Mother received at the hands of the die-squiths, Lord Alibert's was by far the most painful to her. Dearest Alibert, she wrote, why have you not answered my letter, or the one before that? You've been like a brother to me. Surely you cannot turn me away in the hour of my greatest need.
I'm famished. What are we eating?
Everything to drive you to an early grave.
It can't be soon enough as long as you're living.
You'd better hope I die before you, otherwise I shall feed your remains to the hounds.
I'm counting on you to have a prolonged illness, have an interview covered with leeches, and I shall say for the act of replying each of them myself. Speaking of leeches, who in the devil have you invited to sponge off with us this weekend?
Miss Phoebe Dysquith and Mr. Montague Dysquith Navarro.
Adelbert, you remember Miss Dysquith, of course?
Which one are you?
Phoebe, sister of the late Henry Dysquith.
They're all named Henry.
It's been far too long, my dear. I trust your trip was tolerable?
Half the family's named Henry. Lack of imagination.
Oh, quite, ma'am. With Mr. Navarro as my companion, it seemed to take no time at all. Mr. Navarro, I don't believe you've yet met the Earl and his Countess, Lady Dysquith.
So you're the young rag they're all talking about. I suppose your name is Henry, too.
It's Montague.
Oh, that's a first.
An honor to meet you at last.
Monty Navarro, you're here by invitation.
Delighted, Countess.
Monty Navarro, you've wormed your way back in.
Charmed.
Please resist the slightest inclination to feel at home.
The ice is thin.
Wipe off that grin.
Come, Henry. Let me show you some of the weapons that killed our ancestors.
Oh, you may be clever, but Monty, you'll never win.
Thank you. I'd love to.
You'll never win.
Mrs. Lionel Holland.
It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Countess.
Of course it is.
My husband so wanted to be here, but he was called away at the last moment. Something about a meeting at Newmarket. I am hopeless when it comes to horses. Aren't you?
Actually, no. I breed.
Mr. Holland asked me to express his sincerest regrets. I hope you don't mind that I've arrived alone.
How very enterprising of you. Mrs. Holland, I wonder if you've met my husband's cousin, Miss Dysquith? Phoebe, dear, this is Mrs. Holland.
Mrs. Holland, I am so pleased to know you.
The pleasure is mine, entirely, Miss Dysquith.
How lovely you look.
I've been admiring your gown, your flawless complexion, your sparkling eyes.
Oh, you are too kind.
Oh, no, I'm really not. I do believe we may know someone in common.
Oh?
Gather round, won't you? Lady Dysquith informs me I'm to ask you to raise a glass to my cousin, Miss Dysquith, on occasion to her engagement to Mr. Henry Dysquith.
Montague.
Mr. Dysquith Montague.
Navarro.
Mr. Navarro Dysquith Montague. A splendid chap, far as I can tell, and a cousin of mine, strangely enough. His mother was a bit of an embarrassment. Water underneath the bridge, of course. Lady Dysquith tells me he's the next in line succession. Funny that. With everyone else dropping like flies, I should wonder if he'll smother me in my sleep tonight. What? Well, I'm getting the evil eye, so do let's go to dinner. If there's anything I can't abide, it's a cold hen. Don't you agree, Nirvana?
Navarro.
You wrinkle-loads kumquat.
This is rather a coincidence, Mrs. Holland.
Don't Mrs. Holland me. Just when were you planning to tell me this happy news?
I should think you would want to keep your voice down.
Oh, you're always telling me to keep quiet, aren't you?
I would have sent you and Mr. Holland an announcement in due course.
An announcement? I won't be treated like a...
Yes?
You are despicable!
Perhaps it is a very good thing we did not marry, Sibella.
You didn't used to think so.
You can't really imagine you have cause to complain of my marrying Miss Dysquith.
You don't have to, Monty. You could call it off. You must.
There was a time you and I might have fulfilled our natural destiny and married each other.
That would have been a very pleasant arrangement. We should have been so comfortably off, shouldn't we?
Well, I've no doubt we could have scraped along.
I can't imagine either of us, Monty, scraping along. We should have hated each other in a week.
We should never have done that, Sibella. We know each other perfectly, better than anyone else could. We should have always loved each other. That is, if you loved me as I loved you.
Monty, I do love you. And if I had not been so sure that you loved me, I should not have risked marrying Lionel.
I won't even try to make sense of that convoluted statement.
Monty, please!
This fish is an abomination.
You specifically requested cod.
She knows very well I detest cod. Who the devil are you?
It's Walter, dear, from the kitchen. I gave Bellamy the night off to visit his sick mother.
Sick mother? There's a good one. Most gullible woman on earth.
It's true. I should never have believed your vow to love, honor, and cherish.
Till death do us part, darling.
It's what I cling to, my sweet.
The servant problem in London is dreadful. You can't keep anyone for longer than 6 months.
How long have you been here at Highhurst, Shingle?
39 years, milady. 1st of next month.
Miss Shingle, what are you doing here?
Enjoy the cod, sir.
Monty, dear, are you quite all right?
Yes. Yes, Phoebe, I'm fine. Just a bit fatigued, perhaps.
Have you been to the symphony lately?
I am sitting here with poison in my pocket. Look whose head is finally on the block. It seems that now at last the moment I've been waiting for is here.
Mr. Holland and I were at the Albert Hall the other evening.
All that's really left to be decided is the dish to put the poison in, provided I can do what must be done discreetly when the coast is clear.
Aspic, darling?
Yes, no, all right. I confess it pains me some to ruin someone's cooking. Oh, for God's sake, now another servant's looking. I have had a run of luck, but this one does require skill.
An entire program of Beethoven. From the sound of it, he must have been such an unhappy man. Don't you think?
Fisher Follett must be well selected so that no one else at all will be affected. What an awful waste to do in someone I don't want to kill.
The venison's too rich. Take it away. This cook will kill me yet. So what do you make of the Castle Nevero?
Oh, it's magnificent. Don't you think so, Phoebe?
Oh, yes, it's marvelous.
It's falling apart and reeks of mildew, not unlike my husband.
The man who defended these walls and brought honor to the name of Dysquith. You see that broadsword over there? Roland the second Earl eviscerated his very own brother.
Really, Adelbert?
That crossbow belonged to my grandfather Charles. The details remain rather vague.
Let's leave it at that, shall we?
And I must show you the weapon I used to defend the Empire during the Boer War.
Really, Adelbert, must you? I beg you not to encourage him.
It was the Battle of Mujab Hill back in 81. The Boers stormed the mountain. We were completely surrounded. In a panic jogger, my loyal young Transmillion valet suddenly revealed himself as a Boer. He was a turncoat covering me with my own weapon. Martini Henry Mark II ever fired one.
Adelbert, sit down at once.
Yes, and I looked death right in the face, and death looked right back.
Here we go again.
When you're walking down the barrel of a gun, it concentrates the mind completely. And suddenly you'll find a love for humankind that makes you look upon the world more sweetly. When all at once it seems your life is done, you recognize it goes by so fleetly. There's so much left to do, except, of course, for you, when you're looking down the barrel of a gun.
Oh, this trifle is delicious.
I eat this. Lord knows I'll pay for it later. Here.
No dessert for me. Mr. Holland complains if I gain even an ounce.
Nonsense, you have the big of a teenage boy. This is the best trifle in England. I insist.
Well, I suppose just this once. It is a special occasion. Mr. Navarro!
Monty, what are you doing?
Pardon me, so clumsy.
When you're looking down the barrel of a gun, and the barrel looks right back at you demurely, with neither seems to say, perhaps you ought to pray. So sorry that you're dying prematurely. You're grateful that you had your share of fun. Though you suppose you might leave it right more purely. It's ludicrous to care. It's neither here nor there. You're staring down the barrel of a gun. No, this is really your intention. On men like me, in short supply. But Lord, if you use your intervention, this cannot be the way meant to die. Do you really want to see me cry?
Get up at once! You're making a spectacle of yourself.
The paws were on top of us. There was no quarter. Juggen had betrayed me in spite of everything we had been to each other. Oh, never, take it. Take it! Point it at me directly.
I hope it's loaded.
Juggen, this is something I said. I want you to know I never held your humble Hortons against you. No, some of my best friends are bores. Oh, put on the gun, please. I know I talk a good game, bravery and courage, and God save the Queen and all that, but I really don't want to die. I really don't. Don't you know I loved you like a song? Like a song. And I do not mean to say this impolitely. I'm saying for you, I vow it to you. Looking down the barrel of a gun. Looking down the barrel of a gun.
Oh, for heaven's sake! Get up, you old goat! Adelbert! Adelbert! Adelbert!
What? And so I became Lord Montague Dicesquith Navarro, 9th Earl of Highhurst, and of course Phoebe became Lady Navarro, Countess of Highhurst. I confess that at times it almost seemed as if it had all been God's will.
My congratulations, your lordship. I wonder if I might have a word with you in private.
Terribly sorry. Have we met?
I shouldn't think so. Chief Inspector Pinkney, Scotland Yard. You are the Earl of Highhurst, are you not?
May I ask what this is regarding?
So sorry to interrupt such a festive occasion, but I am under strict instructions to arrest you for murder.
Murder? Stop, wait, when? Well, I didn't kill Albert Dicesquith, though that certainly was my intent. Rather hard to digest that I could be arrested for something that I only meant. And it couldn't be poor cousin Asquith, for he graciously died in his own. Was that hole in the ice just a bit too precise? Was my present in Chismere known? Murder, did you say?
I'm afraid so, your lordship.
Stop, wait, when? I should doubt I was seen at the harbour. Lady Hyacinth fell in so fast. As for Salome's and no suspicion would send them at once to that backsliding cast. Did the beastings reveal my deception? Was I seen at the weightlifting hall? How proud to intrude on this lovely reception, for I am the Earl after all. Yes, I am the Earl after all, though it's come to concede as a cost. But where is my blunder, my weakness, I wonder? Is all of it now to be lost? Is all of it now to be lost? Murdering whom?
Lord Adelbert Dysquith, 8th Earl of Highhurst.
Stop, wait, pull! For the murder of Albert Dysquith, whether ever a faucet is it. I am almost amused I should send you accused of a murder I didn't commit. But surely the Earl died of a heart attack.
No, your lordship. It was foul play.
Of course, I'd like to inquire by which method he happened to die. When more to the point would advance, I conspired to lead them to think it was I've dispatched half a dozen, each one a cousin, all of them quite by design. It is not a defense, it just makes no sense. This murder was not one of mine.
On the charge of wilful murder in the death by poison of Lord Adelbert Dysquith, 8th Earl of Highhurst. How do you plead, my lord?
Not guilty.
Chief Inspector Pinkney, Scotland Yard. No one was allowed in or out of the castle until each of the guests and all of the staff had been interviewed thoroughly.
Dr. Pettibone, medical examiner. At the post-mortem, I examined what Lord Dysquith ingested that night and determined there was poison in the port.
Hilda, sir, it was my job to fetch the wine from the cellar. I gave it to Mrs. Shard.
Selina Shard. Before dinner began, I poured the port into a decanter to allow the nuttiness to blossom.
Alfred Gorby, no one drank the port but his lordship. I'd stake my life on it.
Poison in the port? Poppycock! I was in a position to know that the Earl was dyspeptic and quite liverish. That's what killed him. Miss Marietta Shingle.
Lady Eugenia Dysquith, Adelbert the Earl, my late husband, said that he feared Mr. Navarro was so eager to succeed him he might smother him in his
Miss Lionel
sleep.
Holland, Monty had every right to resent the Dysquiths. They disinherited his mother. They denied his very existence. Why shouldn't he feel he deserved to take his place among them? Wouldn't you?
Lady Phoebe Dysquith Navarro, Countess of Highhurst. My husband, the present Earl, is the kindest, the gentlest, the noblest of men with the purest intentions, I can assure you.
I submit to you that the entirety of this prosecution is but a fragile issue of circumstantial evidence, with no proof whatsoever of my guilt. I appeal to your common decency, my lords, and implore you to end this appalling charade at once.
Mind if I tidy up a bit, your lordship? Just a quick once around, and I'll be out of your way.
By all means, my man. Do what you must.
If I might, my lord, they're saying you gave quite an impressive speech at the trial today.
Is that what they're saying, then?
Oh, yes, I was proud to hear of it. I was being a Dysquith myself, you know.
Pardon? Did you say you're a Dysquith?
Yes, my lord, Chauncey Dysquith. My father was Nesmith Dysquith. Maybe you've heard of him. Bit of a black sheep he was. The family never wanted nothing to do with him. Can't say I blame them. Wasn't much of a father, neither.
You're a Dysquith. You're a Dysquith. This is quite remarkable. Have you never felt ill-treated by the Dysquith family?
Why, no. How could I? They don't even know me. It's true, I ain't got none of the advantages of being a Dysquith, but I ain't got none of the troubles neither.
And I've seen you every day for the past 6 weeks, yet you've not said a thing.
Kind of the shy sort, really. But tonight didn't know as I'd be seeing you again. Whatever happens, I wish you good luck, my lord.
Lady Navarro, Countess of Highhurst, is here to see you, my lord.
How are you, my darling?
I am happy now that you've come to see me.
Monty, Oh, Monty.
Phoebe, I beg you not to worry about the outcome tomorrow. I've come to believe that an unseen providence is watching over me.
I do believe that. I do.
Yet I see the agony in your face, and it torments me.
I do have one thing to ask.
Anything, Phoebe, darling.
That woman, Mrs. Holland.
Yes?
That awful night at Highhurst, and then again at the trial. The way she looked at you.
It looked at me? How?
I am asking but one thing of you, Monty, and I must have the truth. Is she in love with you? No need to speak. You just gave me your answer.
And so I've no more of this memoir to write. The ending will be revealed in the morning, one way or the other, with the verdict of the jury. For now, I must try to sleep, though I should think it will be unlikely.
That horrible woman, that contemptible girl.
Countess Navarro?
Oh, make no mistake, she's a venomous snake, and she poisoned the Earl. And Mr. Navarro was a pawn in her plan. I have come here to save him. He's an innocent man.
Do you know what you're saying, Mrs. Holland?
He's an innocent man. That horrible woman.
Mrs. Holland?
Do not utter her name. You must tell the court how she poisoned the port and diverted the blame. Go and bring her to justice, just as fast as you can. As I've told you, my husband is an innocent man.
She seemed tense and alert.
Trembled yesterday's
Yet she flirted and batted her eyes at the men. Then she rose from her seat.
Then she reached for her sweet.
Every gesture was planned. Thinking no one could see, no one saw her but me. She put drops in his drink.
That's a word.
From a letter she wrote.
In her very own hand.
In her very own hand. That horrible woman. That miserable minx.
That libidinous jinx.
Every word is a lie.
She's unspeakably sly,
And I hear that she drinks.
Surely Mr. Navarro.
And so Monty, of course, was a pawn in her plan.
He would not hurt a fly.
Could not harm a flea.
You cannot let him die.
You must set the man free. For Montague dies with Navarro. He's an innocent man.
Inspector, you are not going to believe who's come to see me, and quite in the nick of time.
I was about to tell you the same thing.
It seems Mrs. Holland did it. Mrs.
Holland?
Navarro?
I've got evidence.
It's quite convincing.
Well, they can't both have done it.
Dear Monty,
Monty, darling.
it was I who poisoned the Earl.
It was time you took your rightful place.
This is astonishing.
Oh, she says she intercepted the letter.
Before it was handed to Lord Navarro.
We can't arrest one woman if we believe the other guilty.
The law won't allow it.
No jury would convict.
Reasonable doubt. Seems we're in a bit of a bind.
It was done out of greed.
It was done out of spite.
She wanted the title.
She wanted revenge, and my husband she knew.
And she didn't care who would be hanged for the crime.
Dear lady,
As I'm sure you can see, she's a merciless, ravenous,
man-eating
monstrous assassin or
Monty
beast.
must be released.
And there isn't much time.
And there isn't much time.
That horrible woman, that sinister wench.
Pray you do what is just.
Stop the jury, you must
Get a stay from the bench. In the name of King Edward, we must do all we can.
As the ending was changed when the nightingale sang.
It must be rearranged.
We must not let him hang, for Montague dies with Navarro. He's an innocent man. He's an innocent man. He's an innocent
Lord Navarro.
Your lordship, the indictment's been dropped. You are being set free.
I don't understand.
The jury's been excused and you're to be released at once.
I hardly know what to say.
Come with us, your lordship. Come with us.
You can hear them cheering for you, can't you, my lord?
Surely that can't be for me.
If I don't mind saying, I knew you had to be innocent. You're a bloody hell, for heaven's sake.
Monty!
Look at Phoebe, noble and pious, my esteem for her only grows. But when I am with Phoebe, I am on fire, thinking of
Monty!
Sibella, full of desire, passion and dare I say it, love. But when I'm with Sibella, whom do I admire?
Monty, darling.
Phoebe, perfect and lovely, who couldn't love her?
Oh, Monty!
Round and round and round and round and round it goes.
What a fantastic story, your lordship. You'll have something for your memoirs now, won't you?
My memoirs? My memoirs! My memoirs!
The memoirs, the memoirs, oops, yes, what about the memoirs?
Here, my lord, I found this journal in your cell and thought you might need it.
Oh, how very thoughtful. Thank you.
Monty Navarro, how have you come so very far? Monty Navarro, too far to comprehend. Monty Navarro, do we know who you really are? What will your future portend?
Monty
Monty Navarro, Navarro, Monty dies with Navarro.
I am the 9th Earl of Highhurst,
And this is not.
The thought occurs, if I didn't poison the Earl, who did?
Prussic acid in just the right amount works almost instantly. Of course, if Monty had been found guilty, I had every intention of coming forward to confess my crime. Long live the Earl!
I'm still the 9th Earl of Highhurst, and this is not fair.
I'm standing here with poison in me pocket.
This is not fair.